Moments ago, the Texas Longhorns took the field. All right, time now to join the third member of our team, our sideline analyst and former Texas assistant coach, Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. As Charles said earlier, there's no secret that the Texas Longhorns today want to pound the rock. They lead the nation in time of possession. Last week against Kansas, guys, they rushed for 400-plus yards. They've got to take the pressure off of David Ash with the run game. Look for Joe Bergeron to have a big game today. On the other side, Texas Tech, they must create 7, 8, and even 9-man boxes on first and second down to stop the Texas run game. They've got to get the safeties, the linebackers and safeties, got to do a great job with run fits today. They must force David Ash on third down to win the game with his arm.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Texas won the toss. They deferred, so Tech will get the ball first. Perfect weather conditions here in Austin, 62 degrees and sunny at kickoff time. The High Plains Commander, that's what they're calling him in Lubbock. Tommy Tuberville, 57 years old in his second year. His team 5-3, 2-3 in conference play. Losing to Iowa State last week, 41-7 at home. Meanwhile, 60-year-old Mac Brown in his 14th year at Texas. His team 5-2, 2-2 in conference play, and they're coming off a terrific 43-0 win against Kansas last week. Texas Tech, Austin. And here we go. Zuzalik and Washington back deep. This will be Zuzalik bringing it out of the end zone. And Austin Zuzalik gets it across the 15 and close to the 20. And that brings us to our Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the Texas Tech offense, ranked 9th overall in total offense, averaging over 500 yards a game.
And they do most of that through the air. Adrian Waddle, their left tackle, he's responsible for protecting Seth Daigie's blind side, and he does it well. At running back, Aaron Crawford has stepped in for Eric Stevens. He's their best pass protector.
So Seth Daigie last week did not throw a touchdown. And this one, near side, caught Alex Torres. And Torres gets out of bounds after a gain of 11. Quandre Diggs knocking him out of bounds. And Tech will get to the line of scrimmage quickly. And a handoff, Crawford, and he goes backwards. Some great hitting on that line. Jackson Jeffcoat, his daddy was a pretty good one.
An excellent defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. Jackson Jeffcoat in recent weeks has really started to come on, both playing the run and rushing the passer.
Brings up second down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Washington and Crawford line up in the backfield. Daigie in the gun. And Daigie with time over the middle. Not a lot of running room. Great pursuit by UT. Darren Moore with the reception, and Diggs brings him down.
In our conversations with Tommy Tuberville, the head coach of Texas Tech, he said that one of the keys, winning on third down on both sides of the ball for his team, his first big third down of the game.
Third down and 8 at the 30. Daigie over the middle, and it's caught a first down. Torres, who is becoming a big play receiver for Texas Tech. Quandre Diggs with the tackle in the secondary.
And in order for Seth Daigie to throw the football, he'll need those big guys up front to form the protection. And they did exactly that. And look at Torres running a nice physical route, getting inside for the catch.
Last week he had 2 catches for 35 yards. His 42nd catch of the year. Daigie again underneath, and it's incomplete. Torres, the intended receiver. In hot pursuit, Quandre Diggs, number 28.
Nice play by Diggs, able to reach across the front of the receiver and strip the ball out before the completion is finished.
Second down and 10 at midfield, opening drive for Tech. Sideline. Beautiful throw. Nice catch. Eric Ward. He'll get about 7.5. As Dagey put some hot sauce on that throw to the far side.
And one of the characteristics of a spread offense is guys in space, which means when they catch the football, tackling in the open field is huge.
Third down, 3 at the 43. Crawford in the backfield with Dagey. And Dagey will throw it again. Over the middle, and caught once again. Darren Moore with his second reception. And the chains continue to move for Texas Tech. Diggs and Gideon on the tackle. First down. Crawford breaks free, trying to bounce it outside, and he'll pick up the first down. Vaccaro with the tackle for UT.
Texas Tech had success at Oklahoma because they were able to run the football in early downs and create second and mediums and third and shorts. That's the way they're going to have to win this football game. Throwing it, of course, but the running game has to give them production on the early downs.
Second down and 1 at the 27. Dagey, screen pass. Washington with blockers. Washington, and he'll get out of bounds at the 10. Bubble screens, hitches, crossing routes. That's what you're going to see with these guys.
And those routes help the run game because, in a sense, they're an extension of what Texas Tech does running the football with their backs. Throwing it out wide to the receivers on the screens, as you noted. Screening it to the backs. Those are extra running plays that Texas Tech is using quite effectively early.
10th play of the drive that started at the Texas Tech 17. First down. Dagey hands it off. Washington getting around the corner and leans in. And that's a tough couple of yards. Jordan Hicks grabs him from behind. He'll gain about 4.
You have to like what Neil Brown, the offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, is doing early. He's hitting Texas at all different angles. Out wide, inside, sideways running, inside running.
Second and 6. And Dagey throws the fade in the corner for Torres, incomplete. And a flag on the play. And this may go against Quandre Diggs, the freshman.
Pass interference on a defense, number 28. Foul was in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Watch Diggs all the way out here on the fade. He's in decent position, but watch him lean in at the end and a little bit of a push. And it's right in front of the officials. He cannot keep the flag in his pocket on that one. That had to be called.
So that brings up first down and goal at the 2. Opening drive for Texas Tech. Not the same team we saw last week against Iowa State. Here's Dagey in the end zone. Touchdown. Eric Ward. And a flag on the play.
Personal foul. Hands to the face on the offense, number 72. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And the touchdown will not stand because of a face mask penalty.
And it was such a nice opening drive. They still have an opportunity, of course, but it looked like they had capped it off perfectly with a nice throw from Dagey into the end zone, a nice route run, and they had it. But the penalty inside, they said hands to the face, so watch the interior of the offensive line. Right there, I saw right in the middle, looked like right in the middle of the lineup, Justin Cowan, the center, number 73, was working, and he got caught.
So instead of first down and goal at the 2, it's first down and goal at the 17. And Dagey standing over the middle, broken up. Quandre Diggs had 2 hands on the football, but just couldn't hold on.
And this would have been the drive ender because he had it. Dagey thought he had the pass in the end zone, but he's a little short and a little late with the football to Adam James. Diggs breaks on it underneath at the hip. If he comes down with it, the Longhorns are going the other way instead. Tech gets another opportunity.
Second down and goal at the 17.
Ball start on the offense. Number 34.
That's Kenny Williams.
And I wonder if the Texas movement towards the line of scrimmage ended up forcing them to flinch a little bit and jump, because late they ran like they were coming on the blitz, and that's when the jump occurred in the backfield for Texas Tech.
Third down and goal at the 22 now. Make that second down and goal at the 22. Nagy drops it off, and it's Alex Torres, and he's dropped at the 20-yard line.
That play is a staple for Texas Tech. They scored twice on it against Oklahoma. In the old parlance, it was called X-Missile. Now look at this play here. Acho, number 18, he can't get him with his hands, and actually the kick with the back foot knocked down Alex Torres.
Now third down goal at the 19. 13th play of the drive for Tech. Nagy fires! Broken up on a flag. Intended for Zuzalik. Adrian Phillips standing on the play.
I wonder if he got a hand on the face mask at the end.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty. First down.
They're going to call it on Carrington Bindum.
There's a throw into the end zone by Nagy. Yes, right over the top. At the end of the play, Bindum is already impacting the receiver before the football gets there. The back arm on the top of the receiver, Zuzalik. A good call by the officials. He got their account too early.
So Tech inside the 5 now, with the ball spotted at the 4-yard line. And Acho is the injured Longhorn.
Every time it appears Texas has put themselves in a good position defensively and seeming to end the drive and maybe force a field goal, there's been a penalty or a play that's prolonged it for Texas Tech. Tech had the penalty with the hands to the face mask that hurt them, but for Texas, we've had two pass interference calls now that have helped keep this drive going.
Well, Manuel Acho, the senior from Dallas, good sign. He gets up and walks off the field on his own. 9:51 to play in the first quarter. And this is the 6th play of goal-to-goal football for Texas Tech on their opening drive of the game. First down and goal at the 4. Crawford in the backfield with Nagy, and a whistle.
Ball start on the offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Deverick Gallington, the right guard,
who's played a lot of center in recent weeks with injuries to Justin Cowan, who's hurt both knees throughout this season. Gallington ended up playing 90 snaps of center at Oklahoma before moving back to his familiar right guard post.
First down and goal at the 9. They hand it off to Crawford, and he's dropped. That'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Alex Okafor with the tackle.
They've had one good run on this series inside. I don't think they gain anything running the football here. I think the ball's in Nagy's hands with the ability to throw. I would keep a good eye out for number 86, Alex Torres, in this situation.
Nagy ran for a touchdown last week against Iowa State, an 8-yarder. Second and goal at the 9. And Nagy drops it off to Crawford. And Crawford ambushed in the backfield. Emmanuel Acho back in the game. And he comes up with the nice open field tackle.
Here we go again with another 3rd and goal for Texas. The key is, do they want to bring pressure at Daigie here? Do they want to play coverage and try and flood the passing lanes against Daigie?
From the 9, 3rd down and goal. Daigie fires out wide. What a hit. Beautiful job by Carrington Bindum as he came up and dropped DeAndre Washington.
And watch, he reads this the whole way. It's going to be a screen with 4 out there. He never retreats, reads it, and splits the 2 blockers to take down the pass receiver before he can get going. DeAndre Washington never had a chance. Well read by Carrington Bindum.
So Donnie Corona comes in last week against Iowa State. He did not attempt a field goal all the season. He's 10 of 14. His long of 49 yards. This from 29 yards out. Left-footed kicker is up. And good. So after a long drive, Texas Tech settles for a field goal. And here come the smash-mouth Longhorns on offense. Fox College Football is presented by Russell Athletic, who reminds you that together we are. And brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is giving away over $1 million in tuition. Go to drpepper.com for details. And by Applebee's. Veterans and active duty military eat free on Veterans Day. Only at Applebee's. Welcome back as the Red Raiders go on a 16-play drive. They eat up 7 minutes and have to settle, Charles, for 3 points.
I think ultimately Texas kind of counts that as a win. 16 plays, 12 snaps in the red zone, and they only give up a field goal. I think they're going to feel better about that when Texas Tech will look at that as a missed opportunity.
Back deep, the dangerous Fozzie Whitaker. He's returned 2 kicks for touchdowns this season, and they will not kick it to him. This one picked up early. But Texas will have great field position at the 40-yard line. Cody Johnson on the return. Now let's go to Los Angeles for a game break.
Michigan State, one of the 3 teams tied atop the Big Ten Legends Division, taking on Minnesota. Kirk Cousins to Keith Nichol, the same tandem that hooked up for the Hail Mary against Wisconsin. But how about this? It's 7-7 Michigan State and Minnesota, guys.
All right, thank you very much. So Texas starts first down at the 40-yard line. They hand it off, Fozzie Whitaker. And last week, Fozzie, 9 carries, 68 yards. Let's take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineup.
One of the guys trying to create holes for Fozzie Whitaker and the running backs is Mason Walters, the right guard, who was a high school teammate of Texas Tech quarterback Seth Daigie and passed along a little info to his defensive mates. Jackson Shipley, the star freshman, won't play today. Deshaun Hale steps up for him.
Second down and 7 at the 43. Joe Bergeron in the game. And Bergeron having a very nice game last week. We'll tell you about him after we take a look at the Texas Tech defense.
Scott Smith, the defensive end, had a huge game against Texas last year with 2 sacks and an interception. Wants to recreate that. Hewlin Hubert is a hitter and will not back down against the Texas run game. And back deep, DJ Johnson, an Austin native, has 2 interceptions and leads the team in tackles.
Fozzie Whitaker back in the game now for Texas. 3rd down and 5 at the 45. Ash steps up in the pocket. Over the middle and caught. Mike Davis down at the Texas Tech 34. Cody Davis, first man to him. Nice throw by David Ash.
These two are developing quite a connection in the slot. Number 1, Mike Davis, stick move to the outside, breaks it back inside, working against Cody Davis for the first down.
That's a gain of 24. First down and 10 at the 31. Bergeron. Now he'll power forward. Bergeron last week against Kansas entered the game in the 3rd quarter and rushed for Texas season high 136 yards on 13 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Had a chance to talk with Brian Harsin, the co-offensive coordinator, and he talked about how Bergeron has improved his practice habits. The light's starting to go on and understanding a little bit more. And now he's being rewarded with playing time.
Second down and 7 to the 28. Bergeron, the lone setback. They give it to him. And he'll be wrestled down from behind. Looks like Jackson Richards got him first. And it's a 1-yard gain.
In contrast with how Texas Tech likes to play, where they spread people out, we're seeing this game play tight on the offensive side for Texas early. Very tight formations, and Texas Tech, as Coach Brew outlined at the start of the game, playing in there with 8, 9 guys in the box, trying to shut down the Texas run game.
David Ash, one of the most prolific passers in the history of Central Texas football. He threw for 3,500 yards and 41 touchdowns. Learning as he goes as a true freshman. Steps up and will take the sack. Dartwan Bush with pressure.
Coming from here, watch Bush get the pass pressure against David Ash. But not only did they win on third down, the reason they won on third down was they won on first and second down and forced Texas into third and long. Exactly the situation they don't want their freshman quarterback in.
So Justin Tucker, who's also the punter, last week against Kansas, 2 for 2. Had a career-high 52-yarder to end the first half from 48 yards away. Good. So with 4:24 to go in the first quarter, we're all tied at 3. Seth Dagey back on the field for the Texas Tech O. Next Saturday, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos, squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Fox. As you look at the Texas scoring drive, 7 plays, 29 yards. Maybe the quickest first quarter we've seen in the Big 12 this year so far.
And interestingly enough, as Brew outlined at the top, Texas was the team with time of possession last week against Kansas. It's been flipped in the early going today by Texas Tech.
Zuzalik and DeAndre Washington back deep for the Red Raiders. And this will be Washington from the 5-yard line. And he'll cross the 20. And is down at the 21. Seth Dagey, the prolific passer, back on the field. Game tied at 3. Dagey takes over at the 22-yard line. Last week he was 16 of 32. 171 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he lost a fumble. First time Tech did not score a touchdown, will throw a touchdown in a game since 2006. And they hand it off to Washington. But what a year it's been for Seth Dagey. First 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Here's a kid with 3 400-yard games this year. 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma, he threw for 441, 4 touchdowns, and no picks.
So proficient, so accurate, a true film monster, student of the game, typical son of a coach who knows how to play.
Second down and 6. Dagey over the middle. Caught by Torres, and he picks up a first down. What happened as Jordan Hicks makes the tackle? What happened to this Texas Tech team against Iowa State?
Iowa State played their best game of the year, first and foremost. Texas Tech, I think, was flat. After the high emotional win over Oklahoma, they couldn't punch the motor and get ready for Iowa State, who they thought would be a little bit to the inferior side. And Iowa State stung them. Tough game.
8-yard gain for Torres, first down. Dagey looking with time. Now bounces out of the pocket and will be tackled for a loss by Alex Okafor. Great pressure by the Longhorns.
And that's the type of pressure that is so needed against a spread team, because they spread you out so much, it hurts you in the blitz game. So your defensive ends and tackles have to put pressure on a quarterback, and oftentimes it's not just a sack. It's just the pressure to make him reset his feet, make him move out of the pocket, make him pull the ball down. That's what a lot of people call a spread sack. All right, watch this Texas defensive front. They're going to come and bring the pressure now, which means the coverage is good behind him because they can get to Dagey. He can't go anywhere with the football. So when they made him reshuffle and reset, they did get the sack, but a lot of people say, hey, if we just make you take an extra count, we're going to be better off on defense.
So Alex Okafor with the sack on Dagey, and this Texas Tech offensive line does not give up very many sacks. He's well protected, due in large part to how quickly he gets the ball out of his hands. And Desmond Jackson is the injured Longhorn right now. He's a freshman from Houston.
60 times a game. You want depth on your defensive line so you can rotate people in and out, because rushing the passer wears you out, makes you tired. And that hurts your depth if you end up losing a player, and that's a defensive tackle for Texas now on the ground now.
So the big fella gets up and gets to the sideline. That's a good sign as well. Walking on his own, and hopefully we will see him back quickly. Brings up 2nd down and 12 at the 32.
In the exact situation that the Texas defense wants. They feel like they can dictate now with 2nd and long as opposed to 2nd and medium, which is what Texas Tech's trying to play.
And Dagey underneath, ball caught. Moore again, his 3rd reception of the day as Quandre Diggs brings him down. That'll make it 3rd down and 5 at the 39. Here's Dagey over the middle. 1st down, Tech. Nice job, Adam James, the senior, the son of former SMU star and broadcaster Craig James. 1st down, and they'll go straight ahead and pick up about 4.5 to 5. DeAndre Washington running the ball.
Notice how quickly they moved after they picked up the 1st down. We've seen that out of a number of spread teams this year. When they pick up 1st downs or big plays downfield, they go even faster. They tend to slow down on 2nd and long, 3rd and long type of plays to make sure they have the right play in.
2nd down and 6 at the Texas 48. Washington in motion out of the backfield. Dagey. And he's sacked once again. Jackson Jeffcoat gets to the quarterback.
Just like that, and look at him coming from an up position. Normally a hand on the ground defensive end, working against their best pass protector, Adrian Waddle, who did a terrific job against Frank Alexander of Oklahoma in their win in Norman. This time, Jeffcoat beats him with an upfield move.
2nd sack of the season for Jeffcoat, loss of 5, 3rd down and 11. At the 47-yard line for Texas Tech, they need to go to the Texas 42-yard line for 1st down. Dagey over the middle, incomplete. Broken up at the last moment by Christian Scott.
And Manny Diaz, the D coordinator, goes radar. Look, there's only 2 guys with their hands down. Look here. That's a defensive lineman rushing from the middle. See that? That's Okafor, number 80. They're trying to confuse the blocking assignments and schemes. And look at the coverage they get in the secondary. Christian Scott, number 6, does a great job running underneath the route and breaking it up.
So Texas Tech forced to punt. Ryan Erxleben standing at the 32, Quandre Diggs at his own 10. And he will allow this one to go into the end zone for a touchback. So Texas will have it at their own 20. In the meantime, let's go to Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, a key Big East game. Louisville taking on West Virginia, both a game behind. Cincinnati in the standings. Sonoris Perry, 13 yards for the money. Remember, the Big East, for now, still has that automatic BCS bid, so a lot at stake here. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. And at this point in the game, I think we need to clarify the situation with Shipley and Malcolm Brown.
Jackson Shipley hurt a knee against Kansas last week. They tried to work him in this week, wasn't able to go. He will not play today. Malcolm Brown, the running back in uniform, battling a little bit of a turf toe injury, has not played thus far.
First down and 10 to the 20-yard line for David Ash. And Ash, pump fake, going for the home run. Davis, incomplete. Mike Davis had at least 2 steps, and Ash couldn't put it on him.
They don't complete this pass, but I love the play call by Brian Harsin because he knows that Texas Tech is going to have 8 in the box as much as possible. If they can get 9, they're going to get 9 to try and stop the run game. So on first down, you go tight formation, load it up, play action, and try and hit them deep. They have to do things to try and loosen up that 8-man box of Texas Tech.
Mike Davis, 2 catches, 4 yards last week. DJ Monroe comes in the game. He's in the backfield. They give it to him, and Monroe with a little stutter step, and he gets across the 25, stopped by Jarvis Phillips. And Mac Brown, so open with us yesterday about where he's been and where he wants to continue to take this program.
And the program had been to the mountaintop, national championship, competing for it every year. Last year was a wake-up call, and he wanted to retool it because he had the enthusiasm and felt it and said, I can get this done. New coaches, new attitude, brick by brick, trying to put it back together.
Third down and 4. David Ash steps up in the pocket. He can do this as well. Ash, watch him go. David Ash. And the freshman quarterback is down at the 25. 47 yards. Texas in business. Cody Davis with the tackle. And that's the end of the first quarter in Austin. David Ash. Good wheels. Longhorns knocking on the door. Start of the second quarter, and we're tied at 3. And David Ash showing some great athleticism here.
And something we talked about with his coordinator, Brian Harsin, he's gotten more decisive in running the ball. He says what he wants out of him is a read of 1-2 go. We just saw that in the pocket, 1-2 go. And when he decided to go, 47 yards, the longest run this year by a Texas player. David Ash taking all the meaningful snaps over the last 2-3 football games now since being named the starter ahead of Case McCoy.
First down and 10 to the 27. And they hand it off to Bergeron. And let's join Tim Brewster on the sideline. Coach, what do you think about David Ash?
David Ash is a heck of an athlete, Gus, and that's exactly why he's playing. That's why he won the job over Case McCoy, is what he does with his legs, not necessarily what he does with his arm.
Second down and 8 at the 25. And they hand it off Fozzie Whitaker. And Fozzie spinning. He'll get to the close to the first down. Actually, a wildcat for Fozzie.
A little wild Foz, a little fake to the running back, coming across the front of the formation, DJ Monroe. And Fozzie Whitaker hits it straight away. That just became a power run. If that had been I formation and turned around, the quarterback turned and handed it to him, that would have been like an isolation run with a fullback leading.
That was the 18th wildcat snap for Fozzie Whitaker this season. Third down and 1 at the 18 after the 7-yard gain. And the Texas Longhorns will pick up the first down. Joe Bergeron running DJ Johnson over.
And look at how physical Texas is getting, because right here, that's Luke Pellman. He's really a tackle or a guard, and they've moved him to tight end to help the running game. And look at how he creates a seam on the end and then folding around Mason Walters. Well done.
First down. Fozzie back in the Wildcat. Takes it himself. Whitaker, touchdown Texas. 12 yards.
One of the characteristics of a good play caller is coming back to plays that work. Remember this play? They ran it 2 plays ago. Came right back to it. And Fozzie Whitaker makes people pay as he punishes them, taking it into the end zone.
So Texas with 13-17 to go here in the second quarter. And the Longhorns take a 10-3 lead. Mac Brown told us they want to re-establish a physical game at the University of Texas. We're seeing it right now. Welcome back. Texas with a 10-3 lead over Texas Tech. Longhorns averaging close to 8 yards per rush. Big 47-yard gain by that young man, David Ash. And the Longhorns with 13-17 to play in the second quarter. A 10-3 lead, 7-play, 80-yard drive.
And you talked about how they wanted to reestablish the physical running game. They did it on that drive. Fozzie Whitaker, his 4th touchdown from the Wild Foz alignment this year, and it came on a power run with the fake inside.
Tucker sending it away. Zuzalik and Washington back. This will be Washington from inside his own 5. And Washington corralled and taken down at the 15. Kendall Thompson with the tackle. Now let's go to Kevin Frazier in Los Angeles.
Hey, Gus, you were just discussing David Ash, another quality freshman quarterback making noise. Braxton Miller at Ohio State. He is gone, Marcus Allen.
Kevin, young quarterback needs positive plays to build their confidence. This long run gives him just that.
81-yard draw play. The Buckeyes were down 10 to Indiana. It's all even now. Gus?
All right, Kevin, what a play that young man made against Wisconsin last week.
When he was able to scramble out of trouble and throw it downfield for the game-winning touchdown pass, the dual threat quarterback is here to stay in college football.
Now Dagey firing up top. James breaks it outside, looking for a block. James all the way down to the Texas 31. A 49-yard pickup for Adam James.
And this looks so wide open, I feel like there's got to be a bust in the secondary. Yep, absolutely no one covering Adam James. And then a nice catch and move on Carrington Bindum to break it back outside for a big gainer.
So a first down and 10 at the 34 after the 49-yard gain. And Aaron Crawford running the football, not a running room. Emmanuel Acho coming up with the tackle.
We are not getting the Texas Tech we saw last week against Iowa State by any stretch, nor did Texas expect it. Rivalry game, bad game last week. They bounced back looking way more like the Tech team we've seen most of this season.
Second down and 3 at the 27. Dagey. Here's a screen. Washington with a blocker. Oh! Washington delivering a blow, but Gideon says not here. But a nice pickup for the Red Raiders. 14 yards.
Watch how these guys get out in front on the screen to help out. Cowan 73, Gallington 66. Good block there. Cowan helping downfield to create the play.
Dagey 14 of 17, 151. First down at the Texas 13. And Dagey pumping over the middle, incomplete. That ball may have been deflected at the line of scrimmage. DeAndre Washington, the intended receiver.
They've moved so quickly on this drive. Seth Dagey so accurate most of the time throwing the football. They've moved so quickly on this drive. As I was thinking, they have to answer on the road. They're already downfield in scoring position.
Certainly doesn't take them long. Second down and 10. And the handoff, Crawford, and he is assaulted in the backfield. Dorsey coming up with the tackle, the sophomore from Tyler, Ashton Dorsey.
Playing with a little bit of a chip, began the season as a starter, has lost his job in recent weeks to Calvin Howell.
So that makes it 3rd down and 14 at the 17-yard line. Red Raiders need to go to about the 3-yard line for 1st down. And Dagey does not get the play off.
Before the ball was snapped, delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It appeared that Manny Diaz's defense, with their movement, had Seth Dagey guessing a little bit, trying to get them into the right play, and ended up running out of time. Only 2 defensive linemen with their hands down. Other guys who are normally defensive linemen that you would account for are standing up and moving around, trying to confuse the blocking schemes.
3rd down and 19 at the 22. And Dagey hands it off to Crawford. And Crawford will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Terrific job. Keyston Randall, first man to him for Texas. And the Red Raiders will have to settle for a field goal attempt once again. And Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator's got his guys prepared for this game.
Yeah, after being hit hard on this drive with some big plays, they settled in and confused Texas Tech and forced the field goal. I feel like Neil Brown felt like his offense was a little bit unsettled and ran the draw and said, let's just get 3 and get out of here.
Well, Donnie Corona already good from 29. This one from 40 yards away. Yeah. And it's good. Corona having a terrific season for the Red Raiders. 10-10 to play, 2nd quarter. 10-6, Texas. Fox College Football is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Chrysler, imported from the D. And here's a look from our Chase Sapphire Expo camera in one of the great cities in America, one of the great programs in college football history. So much tradition here in Texas. It's been a fun week hanging out in Austin.
Always fun to come to Texas for football games. We've been at Texas Tech this year. We've been at Texas A&M. We've been here at the University of Texas. It's important at every school. It means a lot to them.
Close game right now, 10-6. Longhorns with the lead, 10-10 to play. Fozzie Whitaker back deep. He may get a chance. From inside the 5. Whitaker! Just becoming a breathtaking return man. Fozzie Whitaker will get it up to the 27-yard line. Now back to Los Angeles. And here's Kevin Frazier.
Another one of the big games in the Big Ten Legends Division. Michigan, Iowa. James Vandenberg hooks up with Brad Herman for the touchdown. Here's the question, Gus and Charles. Which team meets us in Indianapolis on December 3rd for the Big Ten championship game?
Oh, Kevin, what a question you've asked. We've got a long way to go, but right now, Penn State in the driver's seat in one division and 3 teams tied in the other.
1st down, and they run it left side down the sideline. Bergeron, can he get there? And he's out of bounds. Derek Mays pushes him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 51.
And watch here the blocking you get to create the crease for Bergeron, the freshman. Look at him get out in front. 55 was Espinosa, the center. Snow, 78. Cochran, 68 at left tackle. And Bergeron was in full sprint quickly.
Texas in business now at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10. Whitaker breaks it back. Still running. The Foz out of bounds. Close to the 5. DJ Johnson with the tackle.
You asked him that yesterday, didn't you? Did anybody call you the Foz? And he said no? Well, you told him if you played well, they would now. Look at this play selection. Texas, exactly how they want to play the game. Running it way more than throwing it. But look for a few 1st down passes as this game goes along to try and keep that defense loose for Tech.
1st down and goal at the 6-yard line for the University of Texas. Out of the I formation. Bergeron, the deep man. Ash almost lost it. And he'll scramble to get out of bounds Lose a yard on the play. Derek Mays ushers him out of bounds.
Fortunate to hold on to the football. Quarterback center exchange, supposed to be basic. Ash just fumbles it coming out. Fortunate to get out there and keep the football. They wanted to go to the right side in their power game, bringing Luke Pellman, number 82, in as an extra tight end at a 6'7", 295, normally an offensive lineman.
Make it second down and goal at the 8-yard line. Fozzie Whitaker in the Wildcat. He runs the same play, scored on last time, does it again. Fozzie Whitaker.
These guys here, the big fellas, right? Now watch how they open a crease. And then Cody Johnson, 11, the fullback leading. Look at that. They got people where David Snow, the offensive guard, was looking for someone to hit. There wasn't even anyone there. The hole was so clear.
Extra point up and good. 8:33 to play in the second quarter. And a flag on the play. We'll sort it out right after this.
Coming up in moments on the Geico halftime show, Marcus Allen and I will give you a preview of next week's big doubleheader, which includes USC and Washington.
Yes, they lost 2 in a row to Washington, so I'm sure that's the trend they'd like to change.
They as in the Trojans, right? But a big game for Washington tonight as they take on Oregon. Plus, we'll have scores and highlights from around the country. It's all coming up in moments on the Geico halftime show. Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. We'll see Washington next week when they face USC.
Washington today, a huge rivalry game, one of the most underrated rivalries in the country with Oregon. And you know Oregon's thinking about Stanford in 2 weeks. Stanford's at Oregon State. They're thinking about Oregon in 2 weeks. Both of them better be on guard.
Longhorns send it away, leading it 17-6. Zuzalik brings it up the field, and he is wrapped up at the 22-yard line. Nice play by Keenan Robinson. Now let's go downstairs to Tim Brewster.
Gus, Manny Diaz is getting done exactly what he wanted. His number one objective was to stop the run. Right now, Texas Tech has got 15 yards rushing. What he's doing in the passing game, double A-gap blitzes on both sides of the center. He's sending linebackers, taking away the sight lines of Seth Dagey and really forcing him to peel outside and be tracked by the superior athletes at Texas.
That's 2 guys going through that gap, and with those big hands in the way, Seth Dagey just 6'1", trying to take away his sight lines as Brew just analyzed.
Dagey 14 of 18, 152 yards, first and 10 of the 23. Texas Tech with only 15 rushing yards. Dagey flips it out, caught Crawford on a wheel, and he will pick up 7. Carrington Bindum knocking him out of bounds. Second down and 3. Dagey shuffling. Cross his body. Almost picked off. Kenny Vaccaro had a sure interception, but just couldn't hold on.
Vaccaro almost got to Dagey on first down on the blitz. On this play, he's in coverage and has it right on the number 4 and unable to haul it in.
Third down and 3 at the 30. Washington and Crawford line up with Dagey out of the gun. Dagey deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Ashton Dorsey got his hands on the football.
The pressure up the middle as Brew outlined, trying to get in the face of Seth Dagey and take away his sight lines, and Ashton Dorsey. He doesn't get to Dagey, but he gets his hands in the passing lane and bats the ball away.
So Ryan Ertzleben, his first punt, 53 yards. He's standing at the 16, and Quandre Diggs at the 25. And he drives this football. Diggs backpedaling from the 14. Diggs gets outside. And Diggs out of bounds at the 40. A 54-yard punt, a 22-yard return. David Ash and the Longhorn offense in business once again at the 40. And welcome back, 17-6, Texas with the lead. Fozzie Whitaker really spearheading the power game, and this is the Russell Athletic game summary.
And it's been a tale of the red zones. Texas Tech has gotten down there, but they had to kick field goals when Texas has gotten to the red zone. Fozzie Whitaker with power running out of the Wild Foz formation has scored 2 touchdowns.
And Whitaker 5 carries, 45 yards for the 2 scores, 3 Wildcat formations yielding 27 yards and those 2 touchdowns out of that formation. First down and 10 at the 37 now for Texas. Bergeron. And Mac Brown was really interesting when we talked to him yesterday, and he talked about the top teams in college football and the style that the teams are playing and how he wants to get Texas back to that style.
And we're seeing that today. Power running, able to utilize the backs.
Ash Davis caught. Mike Davis down at the 10. 48 yards. And that running game sets up what?
The deep ball. This is how Texas wants to play. Physical, run game. Mike Davis is going to get deep, and it's off of play action. They've run the ball so effectively, it allows Ash plenty of time, and he didn't miss the layup. Coaches always coach quarterbacks. If you're going to throw the deep ball, underthrow it, don't overthrow it. Give your receiver a chance to come back and get it.
Now Whitaker. This time hands it off. Monroe. Touchdown, Texas. 12 yards.
We've seen the power run out of the Wild Foz. We're going to see the motion here. Now watch, he's normally faked it to Monroe. Mesh point, and then Fozzie goes that way. This time, he hands it to him. Monroe gets out there, a juke, and into the end zone.
23-6, Longhorns. Extra point up and good. Texas with 173 rushing yards in the first half.
And look at the blocking they're getting on the perimeter. The wide receivers are involved. Mac Brown challenged his entire offense and said everyone is responsible for the running game. Not just the offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. If we're going to be physical, it all has to mesh, and everyone has to buy into it. And that run encompassed everything. Power up front, speed to the side, wide receiver blocking on the perimeter, and Monroe gets into the end zone.
And the power game working so well for this Texas squad, Coach Brewster.
Gus, they've run power at least a minimum of 10 times already in the game. Whether or not it's one back with motion, whether or not there's 2 backs in the backfield, the Wild Fozzie, they're running power, pulling the backside guard, gap scheming the front sides regardless of the look. We're blocking down, kicking out with a fullback. Guys, it's a play that's designed for physicality and letting the defense know, hey, we're coming at you.
All right, and the numbers suggest that the Longhorns are certainly coming at them on both sides of the ball. 173 rush yards, and they've given up only 15. 3 rushing touchdowns for the Longhorns. DeAndre Washington back deep for Texas Tech, and he'll start from his own 6. Up at the 20. Some aggressive special teams play as Tevin Jackson makes the tackle. Now Wednesday, Experience Television's chilling hit series American Horror Story. Don't miss an all-new episode this Wednesday at 10 only on FX.
Connie Britton, who's in that series, has had a pretty good run now. Spin City, the Friday Night Lights, and now American Horror.
Texas Tech trying to make sure that this is not another horror show for them after last week's loss to Iowa State. 24-6 now. This Texas defense getting more and more confident, showing blitz. Dagey dumps it off to the sideline. Caught by Zuzalek, and he'll get out of bounds close to the first down. But remember, this Texas Tech team, they've come back in games this season. They're very hot on the road at this point, and they also can score points in bunches.
Down 20-0 in the first quarter at Kansas. They erased that lead before the first half was over. And they're averaging 48.3 points per game. We know they can score.
But they cannot run it. As Randall stops DeAndre Washington.
And what will be interesting to watch now, Gus, is how they react to being down this big against a quality opponent like Texas. Remember, in the Oklahoma game, they set the pace. They were up 31-7 at one point.
6:10 to play in the second quarter. 3rd down and 4 at the 28. Dagey, sideline, strike, and a first down by Adam James. Tell you what, Adam James has really been coming along, and Craig James, former colleague of ours, I would tell him that he's got his mother's looks and talent.
And it's working quite well for him, isn't it? And remember, he's been a wide receiver his whole career. They moved him to tight end, so he's undersized there. But in this offense, they're not worried about his blocking, just his route running, and he's blossoming.
From the 39, Dagey up top again. Incomplete. Ball intended for Jace Amaro, and he just couldn't hold on. He was open.
Looked like a nice hit from the secondary to knock it free from Texas. Blake Gideon on the coverage.
2nd down and 10 at the 39.
If you're a spread quarterback, you have to have courage to play this position because of all the hits and pressure you absorb on almost every play.
Dagey in trouble. Got it off, but not for much. A swarming Texas defense. It's a loss of 5. Kenny Vaccaro and Acho combining on the tackle.
The pressure comes from inside from Texas. Watch him get into the middle and get into the face of Dagey. That's Ashton Dorsey again applying the pressure. Dagey trying to get rid of the football, does. Against Oklahoma, they stung them with some big plays downfield. That's what they have to do against Texas today to relieve some of this pressure.
3rd down and 15 at the 34. Seth Dagey looking for a screen. Not there, and he'll dump it out of bounds. And Texas Tech forced to punt it away once again. I'll tell you a player that's really having a great game, and you just mentioned it, Ashton Dorsey.
All kinds of pressure.
Really quick getting to the quarterback.
All kinds of pressure on the quarterback, chasing down running backs. And on that play, Chris Whaley sniffed out the play and ran with the back. And Dagey had to pull the football down and had nowhere to go.
So Erxleben standing at the 19-yard line. Quandre Diggs back deep at the 20. Diggs steps up, has it at the 22. And he'll be written down at the 31. A 44-yard punt, 9-yard return. Aaron Crawford with the tackle on special teams. Now, this college football season, Fox Sports is proud to support the Dream Foundation, who are making dreams come true for adults facing life-threatening illness. There is no greater time to help those in need than when time is limited. Text DREAM to 41518. That's 41518 to donate $10 and turn dreams into lasting memories. Bergeron gets to the 40, picks up 8 on 1st down.
And what's interesting in watching this game is we know Tech in their spread offense wants to spread it all the way across the field and take people out of the box, all right, and relieve pressure. Texas, they're playing this game tight. 2, 3 tight ends, maybe a wide receiver or 2, but it's easy for Tech to get 8 men in the box, sometimes 9, but it doesn't seem to matter the way Texas is blocking this first half.
Out of the offset eye, Bergeron the deep man, they give it to him straight ahead. And Bergeron up to the 45. A gain of 8 on one play, a gain of 6 on this play, and Texas really going right at him right now. Leon Mackey with the tackle.
And when Texas breaks this huddle and comes to the line of scrimmage, notice the formations. Notice how many people are close to the football for Texas Tech. But right now, Texas's offensive line is so confident. They feel like they can block 7, 8, 9. It doesn't matter. Look at the tight formation.
1st and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Bergeron breaking tackles. Bergeron! Ha ha! Look at the freshman from Mesquite. Daniel Cobb stops him, but the Texas O-line blowing up big holes now.
And getting help from Bergeron himself because he runs through the tackle by Hubert, 51. He runs through a second tackle. See, look at that. And with him doing that, this offensive line just gets more and more confident. They love backs that'll run hard behind their effort.
9 carries, 81 yards for Joe Bergeron. And they'll keep his hands full. Bergeron, another first down. Cody Davis. And Bergeron will tap out and head to the sideline.
Look at the vision of him here. We've seen the power. Watch now. He sees the tackler coming low, steps right over the top of DJ Johnson, number 12. Look at that. See that? Right over the top and continues downfield as Johnson tries an ankle tackle.
1st down and 10 at the 32. 2:38 to play in the 2nd quarter. Fozzie Whitaker in the game, wants to throw it. Incomplete.
Didn't we see him throw it up at Iowa State too? Or try to attempt it? If not, they may take that play out of the book after that throw.
Well, he was trying to get his quarterback, David Ash. Well, Fozzie will check out of the game.
You got a guy who's used to throwing it, running a route. A guy who's used to running it, throwing the route. Maybe they want to reverse roles next time.
2nd down and 10 at the 32. Bergeron back in the game. 11 carries, 104. And some movement. And Charles.
False start on the offense. Number 11, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I tell you what, Charles, it's kind of refreshing to watch how Texas is approaching their game from an offensive perspective. We've called numerous games in the Big 12. Everything's a spread offense, and it's nice to see a team just go out there and smack you in the mouth and run the ball.
Almost getting to the point now where teams that we're seeing like Texas, Wisconsin over in the Big 10, where they're becoming the harder team to prepare for because you don't see it all year long. You don't see very many power running teams. 2 backs line up and run right at you.
Ash stays in the pocket, goes to the sideline, incomplete. And a flag on the play, a late flag thrown at the 31.
You see that ball?
The field judge threw it from deep in the secondary, Jay Taylor.
Holding on the defense, number 21. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Jarvis Phillips guilty of the hold late after Ash had to scramble around. Probably thought he had the coverage and probably got a little bit too handsy at the end of the play.
So a 1st down and 10 at the 27 for UT. Ash, quarterback draw. Ash getting through the hole. Ash all the way down to the 7. A 19-yard gain. Hewlin Hubert with the saving tackle.
Whether it's Fozzie Whitaker or Ash. Now Fozzie becomes the lead back now to lead Ash into the hole. So it's still essentially a power run off the quarterback draw. It's a big, young man running the football there.
1st down and goal at the 9. Bergeron, they give it to him. Bergeron, touchdown Texas. Woo. The Longhorns, all business this afternoon.
And Every time they line up these guys here, they start in the backfield. Big offensive lineman, Pellman, 82. 56, Trey Allen. They just moved him to the right side of the line and made no secret about going there and have scored just about every time in that situation.
And the offensive lineman for Texas, so young. Josh Cochran, the left tackle, a freshman. Dominic Espinoza, a freshman. Mason Walters, a sophomore. Trey Hopkins, a sophomore.
And they love run blocking. We spent some time with Mason Walters yesterday, and I posed the question. I said, have you ever met an offensive lineman that would rather pass protect than run block? And he said, he won't be in our meeting room. We're kicking him out. And look at Texas for this. Last week, Iowa State ran for 171 yards in the first half. Okay, on their way to 361, I think, for the game. Texas so far, 23 carries, 236 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns.
Now we still have 1:46 to play. Joe Bergeron, his first 4 games, 18 carries, 87 yards. Last 2 games, he's turned it around. Why has Bergeron turned it around, Coach Brewster?
Because, Gus, he is the absolute perfect fit for the power running game. 6'1", 235 pounds, breaks tackles, runs hard to the point of attack. He's a physical back.
And as Brian Harsin, the co-offensive coordinator, told us, the light came on in practice. Instead of finishing a play with a 5-yard run and trotting back to the huddle, he's taking it 25 and 30 yards downfield, essaying what he would do during a game.
12 carries, 113 yards for Bergeron and a touchdown as DeAndre Washington gets it over the 30 up to the 32-yard line. Now don't forget, coming up at the half is the Geico Halftime Show with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. They'll have highlights from the nation's top 25 teams and a preview of next week's FX doubleheader. It'll be interesting to see how Missouri fares against Baylor. Missouri taking on this Texas team next week, and the Tigers are really starting to improve. Big win last week against A&M at A&M.
And everyone jockeying for bowl position at this time of the year, too. A lot to play for.
Far side, Torres with the catch. And he'll pick up the first down. Kenny Vaccaro, first man to him.
Be interesting to see what Manny Diaz wants to do on defense on this drive, because ordinarily you go ahead and play back, let him have some yards. But I don't think he wants to give up any points going into the half and let Tech have any type of momentum.
Daggy flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, and it's caught by Aaron Crawford. He gets out of bounds. Hicks ushering him out of bounds.
Thought that was nice patience by Seth Daggy, because he wanted to go to Crawford early. Didn't think he was covered. Let Crawford run about 5 yards and uncover himself before delivering the pass.
Second down and 2 at the 46. Daggy far side. And the ball caught by Moore. And Moore dropped out of bounds, but a first down. For the Red Raiders, Blake Gideon with the tackle.
Really nice blocking by the other wide receivers on the perimeter to allow for the receiver to get the first down.
First down and 10 at the 37. Daggy in trouble and sacked once again. Alex Okafor. Third sack of the day for Texas.
They were looking for big things from Alex Okafor to start the season. And after a slow beginning, he's starting to get there. Many people expected double-digit sacks for him. And now he's starting to play like that, Alex Okafor.
Here's Daggy on second down and long. And he completes it to Bradley Marquez. .37 seconds remaining in the second quarter as we take a look at our doubleheader next week. Washington, USC, the second game. Texas, Missouri in Columbia, the first game of the day.
I like that doubleheader. I like the contrast we're going to get. Texas going to Missouri. Texas, a little bit of that back to the future, as you noted, getting back to that physical running game. Missouri spreading it out, still sideways running, but their defense won the day for them the last time we saw them against Texas A&M in the second half. Dave Steckel's crew, and then the USC-Washington game. Washington's beaten USC the last 2 times they played on late field goals and last-minute scores.
Trojans giving up a lot of points on defense, and Chris Polk is a terrific player for the Huskies, their star running back. 3rd down and 12 to the 39. Dagey, that ball caught by Marquez, who tries to get out of bounds, and he does. Vaccaro pushes him out of bounds with 30 seconds to go. 2 timeouts remaining for the Red Raiders. So on 4th down and 8, Texas Tech deciding to go for it. As you look at their numbers on 4th down conversions this season. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Dagey looks that way. Dagey sacked again for the 4th time this afternoon. And it's Jackson Jeffcoat again. And give a lot of credit to that Texas secondary.
Because the coverage was there. That's a coverage sack. Nowhere for Dagey to go, and that allowed the pressure to get to him, and that's what it's been like all day long. There's Jeffcoat, 44, applying pressure. Okafor, number 80. Ashton Dorsey, 85. Okafor again. And then to finish things off, Jackson Jeffcoat. They've made making a living in the backfield of Texas Tech, and they're getting help from their coverage guys downfield.
So with 24 seconds remaining and 3 timeouts, Texas takes over. Fozzie Whitaker on the carry. And the Longhorns will head into the locker room with the huge lead, 31-6. So Mack Brown's pledge to be more physical at this point in the season starting to pay off. The Longhorns scored 28 points in the second quarter, and they did it the good old-fashioned way by running the ball. And Coach Brew is with Coach Brown.
Coach Brown, talk to us about the new identity on the offense here at the University of Texas, power running game.
Tim, they came out hot. They stayed on the field for about 7.5 minutes the first drive. That's kind of been our trademark. Our guys came back and started pounding the ball. Now we're getting some more pressure on the quarterback, and we know when we're playing Texas Tech, they can score a bunch of points. So this one's got to start over the second half.
As you said, in the second half, they can score points quickly. Defensively, what are your thoughts?
Well, we got to keep getting pressure, keep them in front of us, not let them have the deep ball. We have dropped 3 interceptions. We got to strip some balls. We got to get us some turnovers, and we need to score to start the drive the second half.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, thank you very much. Halftime in Austin, and Texas dominated. Coming up, our studio show, 31-6, our score. Kevin Frazier, Marcus Allen, and the Geico Halftime Show next. Welcome back to Austin. Our halftime score, Texas 31, Texas Tech 6. Welcome back, everybody. Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, CD. Easy first half. A statement for the University of Texas.
A statement that while they may be young, they're coming for people now, and they're growing. That offensive line pounded people. The defense played awfully well in the first half. But as we take a look at our Capital One playbook, let's show you the story of the first half for them in setting an identity. From the wild Foz position, Fozzie Whitaker. There's the mesh point with DJ Monroe. It turns into a power run. And look at him run over 2 or 3 people to get into the end zone. They're going to run the same thing again. Lead blocked by Cody Johnson. David Snow doesn't even have anyone really to block, number 78. And now a called play, a counter to the power run. We've been powering it at you. Now they hand it to DJ Monroe, and he sprints to the corner. Texas in the red zone, absolutely money in the first half.
And they will get the ball to start this second half. Fozzie Whitaker, a couple of touchdowns out of the Wild Foz. I like the name. Bergeron running hard, over 100 yards. DJ Monroe with the touchdown as well. And Whitaker has really yet to get a good look at a return. All it takes for this senior is to get a little daylight, and it can get really fun. This one in the end zone and out of the end zone, so the Longhorns will have it at the 20. Let's go downstairs to our coach, Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. The Longhorns want to continue to pound the rock. They had 238 yards rushing in the first half. They're looking for David Ash to play a clean second half. No interceptions, possibly hit a play-action deep ball that he missed in the first half. On the other side, Tommy Tuberville says that they are getting whipped in the offensive line and the defensive line. They got to find a way to run the ball some and score touchdowns in the red zone.
So first down and 10 at the 20-yard line for UT. Bergeron. And he's tackled from behind, Scott Smith.
And coaches continually talk about the first 5 minutes of each half as a tone setter. For Texas Tech, this first series, the first 5 minutes on defense, to try and set a tone about what they want to do in the second half. If Texas takes this first drive and just jams it down their throat as they did in the first half, that makes for an awfully long afternoon. The pride of the defense has to step up.
Once again, they run it. Fozzie Whitaker picks up the first down. Cody Davis with the tackle for the Red Raiders. Bergeron. And he'll pick up a yard and a half.
Brew talked about all the running yards that Texas had in the first half. They had, what, 238? And they've done that without their super freshman Malcolm Brown, who's yet to see the field today. A little bit of a turf toe. He came out and warmed up. He's in uniform on the sideline, but they have not needed him today with a combination of Bergeron, Fozzie Whitaker, and occasional changeup with DJ Monroe.
Second down and 8 at the 35. And they run the reverse. Goodwin down the sideline. Goodwin out of bounds at the Red Raider 30. Jarvis Phillips chases him out of bounds.
Whatever they dial up seems to be working. The powers work so well, so they fake it inside. Nice block right there by Cody Johnson, number 11. Allows Marquise Goodwin to get to the corner and show his track speed.
This young man is a tremendous athlete at the 34. Bergeron cuts it back and is upended by Jarvis Phillips. But let's go back to talk about the athlete. Goodwin, an impressive young man, both scholar and athlete. His list of accomplishments includes an NCAA championship in the long jump, a gold medal at the 2011 U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championship. And he'd like to compete in the 2012 Olympics. Gained 31 on that last play. Then he touched the ball. 2nd and 7. Bergeron again. And what's going through the mind of a young man like Malcolm Brown, a freshman, but he is hurt, and he's watching Joe Bergeron go out and do what he's doing today?
Well, he's probably already tapped the trainer and says that he feels pretty good. He sidled up to his running backs coach, Major Applewhite, and said, you know, I feel great. Because when you're watching that, you're happy for your teammate, but you're thinking, this is a day that I should be out there too. And I'm being facetious because they're going to keep him out. But when you see other people playing well, the competitor in you comes out, you want to be out there too.
3rd down and 6. Fozzie in space. Fozzie, tripped up. Inside the 15, but it's a 16-yard gain.
This is an example of what Brew was talking about. Easy throws for David Ash, the quarterback. And Fozzie Whitaker almost able to get to the corner, but number 42, Daniel Cobb, gets just enough of him to trip him up and prevent him making an effort for the end zone.
How about the numbers for Ash? 3 of 4, 88 yards. Here's the pitch, Bergeron. And Bergeron taken down in the backfield. Nicely done by Jared Flannel.
And you mentioned, you and I talked at the top of the show, and I threw out the number 25, didn't I? About
yes,
number of throws for David Ash.
Yes.
Anything below 25, Texas will be happy with. Did you say 3 of 4?
3 of 4.
And now, in other words, they're ecstatic right now. It's exactly what they wanted. To be able to run the football, take the pressure off of the young quarterback, and now they can have him throw when they want to throw, although it looks like they're going to go back to the Wild Fox.
And he'll run it. Woo! Fozzie Whitaker laying some wood. Cody Davis throws himself under the chariot. And that is a gain of 8 yards.
And Fozzie is short for Fozwit. And look at how he finishes this run against a very good tackler in Cody Davis for Texas Tech.
Fozzie Whitaker, 5 feet 10, 202 pounds, senior from Houston, finally healthy. 3rd down and 6 at the 10. 10th play of the drive that started at the UT 20. And David Ash will talk about it. Texas with the timeout. 9:45 to play, 3rd quarter. Back to Austin right after this. Fox College Football is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Welcome back, 31-6, Texas, one of the great symbols of college football.
Bevo.
Welcome Horns. 3rd down and 6 at the 10. Ash bobbling the snap. Bergeron. And he'll get inside the 5-yard line as Kerry Hyder and TJ Johnson combine to stop him. This kid is strong. And what Texas is developing, there's a similar tandem in this conference.
And Cyrus Gray and Kristen Michael, and up 31-6. No choice for Matt Brown. Go for it, as well as they've run the football with that tandem. And look at the right side again. That's the power side.
4th down and 1 at the 5. Bergeron, touchdown. Wow.
Texas has run this play so many times. Power side here, but watch the vision of the running back, Bergeron, because it breaks back left where the hole opens and he finds it.
And a flag on the field at the 1-yard line.
Touchdown is good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 91. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Temper starting to flare a little bit as Texas continues to pour it on Texas Tech. Kerry Hyder called for the penalty.
Remember, he's an Austin native, so this game means a lot more to him than maybe just a few others coming back home and having a tough day.
Extra point good. 9:06 to play, 3rd quarter. Texas continues to run it right at Texas Tech. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium, the 5th largest college stadium in the country. Capacity, little over 100,000. And the Texas fans are watching a total demolition As the Longhorns, their only non-score today was a kneel down at halftime. So Texas sends it away, this one out of the end zone. Now let's go to Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, Minnesota and Michigan, and how about this one? Marquise Gray once again. Michigan State, Dejan McKnight with the catch, but Michigan State just scored to retake the lead. It's 24-27. This is a close one.
And you would figure Michigan State would be a decided, favorite in that game. Remember last week, Minnesota shocking Iowa. Gained some confidence playing Michigan State tough.
Marquise Gray, recruited by our Tim Brewster during his tenure as the head coach at Minnesota. First down and 10 at the 20. And Nagy. Incomplete. Ball intended for Adam James. Blake Gideon standing right on the play. And James a little shaken up as he gets to the sideline.
The pressure of Texas's defense has emboldened the defensive backs. They're not pushing back at all. They're playing this game forward as opposed to retreating against the receivers.
Nagy again goes through his progressions, caught by Marquez. And Marquez gets to the 36-yard line. Flag on the play, though, at the 32.
They're offsetting fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 65. Holding, defense number 4. Penalties offset, second down.
Back deep, Kenny Vaccaro got caught holding. And up front, Adrian Waddle for Texas Tech.
Second down and 10 of the 20. And Nagy. Sideline, Marquez, another grab. He'll get close to the first down as he's driven out of bounds by Kenny Vaccaro. But you got to give Manny Diaz a lot of credit with how he's prepared his team for a dangerous offense like Texas Tech.
And he said to us that we have to win on anything behind the line of scrimmage. A running play, a screen, any of those things that where the ball's behind the line to start, that's where they have to try and win.
Now a little wildcat for the Red Raiders who want to establish some kind of run as Williams goes straight ahead and picks up the first down. And Manny Diaz came into our meeting room yesterday, and he is an intense man.
He really is. A dapper one, too, coming in from another meeting. I said, boy, we needed to clean up for this meeting next time, Coach.
And Kenny Williams running it. And Mac Brown told us that having some of the young coaches on his staff, some of the new coaches, and this is not to say anything disparaging about the men that were here for years, but it's reinvigorated it.
Everyone, Mac Brown, everyone on the staff, new energy, new ideas, a new stimulation in the meeting rooms.
Far side, and caught, and that's Darren Moore once again. It's Coach Brown, so successful. And what surprised me more than anything was a man that has won the national championship, played in the national championship, still feels an intense pressure to keep the program going in a certain direction.
That's Texas. That's Texas football. Every year, we're supposed to win every game.
And a timeout called by the Red Raiders.
Texas Tech, first charge of the second half. 30-second timeout.
It's interesting what you're talking about with Coach Brown. You look at this career resume, and you talk about that pressure he feels each and every day. And, of course, his own internal pressure to want to succeed.
Exactly.
After the jobs. Because everyone, if you haven't traced his career, it hasn't all been silver spoon and big-time wins in Texas. Now, Mac Brown was a head coach at Appalachian State. Mac Brown's head coach at Tulane. He had to build up North Carolina again, had a 0 for the season to try and get them back, and he did before he left for Texas. So he has his own burning desire, and bringing in the new coaches, and the new coaches fitting in so well, welcomed by the coaches on staff, and also accommodating and listening to them too. Great exchange of ideas, and we're seeing a Texas team is starting back towards where they want to be.
3rd down and 1 at the 41 for Texas Tech. DeAndre Washington in the Wildcat, and I don't know. Looks like he may have stumbled forward and gotten it. We'll see where they spot it, and it looks like the Red Raiders will get the 1st down.
And isn't it interesting that Texas Tech, the last two series here, they've had to go for it on 3rd and short. They had to go to running plays, which takes more time off the clock.
Dagey on 1st down. Oh, beautiful strike. Dagey put that one on the money to Alex Torres and picks up 18 yards, and he had heavy pressure on him.
That was a beautiful throw. I talked with Sonny Cumbie, who coaches inside receivers for Texas Tech, as they pick up the pace, about who said Dagey reminds him of.
Dagey, another missile. And big yardage gain, this time by Jacoby Franks.
And what Sonny told me about him was, you know, that great tradition of quarterbacks in Texas Tech. He says the way he slings it, B.J. Simmons, who was a 1-year starter, is a 5th-year guy, and the way he prepares Graham Harrell in terms of another coach's son in the film room. That's a pretty nice combination in the Texas Tech pantheon.
And the numbers on Dagey today. 2nd down and 1. Play action, Dagey up top. Incomplete and a flag. Eric Ward, the intended receiver. Carrington Bindum covering, along with Blake Gideon.
Now, I know Dwayne Aquina, the secondary coach for Texas, won't be thrilled with the pass interference penalties if that indeed is what it is.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. 3rd down.
And what I was going to say, if it was going to be defensive, they've had a few today, but I think he likes the way they're playing the football. And there was no foul there. I'm glad the officials picked it up. There was nothing to call either way. And almost coming down with the ball was Eric Ward.
So 3rd down and 1 at the 31. Red Raiders have converted a 3rd down and 1 at the 29, a 3rd down and 1 at the 41. They get in the Wildcat. Kenny Williams runs it and pushes the pile forward. So Texas Tech picks up the 1st down. Trailing 38-6, 5:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. No big strikes for Texas Tech this afternoon. And for the Texas defense, that means plays of 20 yards or more. And it was a point of emphasis for Manny Diaz coming into this game. Dagey underneath, flags everywhere. More and more down at the 10. Carrington Bindum with the tackle.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense, number 78. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Lonnie Edwards, the senior left guard.
Let's take a look in the middle, all right? The guy who's got the highest stance will be Lonnie Edwards. And then, see, that's the chop right there. Justin Cowan, the center. And what they call that is pinning and posting. They think he's engaged with another defender, chopping him at his legs. That's not allowed.
They called it 78, but it was actually, as you mentioned, 73. 1st down and a long 25 to the 44. Here's the hitch. And Eric Ward makes the grab. Kenny Vaccaro, the junior, making the tackle.
When you play spread teams count yards after the catch as part of the offense. They think 5-yard throws and a move, and they'll get big yardage.
Now they go to the other side with Jacoby Franks. And Jacoby Franks a little frustrated as he gets up. Texas really not giving up a lot to this Texas Tech right now. 3rd down and 18 at the 37. Dagey, nice throw. And out of bounds, maybe a late hit. And that was Zuzalik holding on to the football. No flags thrown.
Watch the route. And breaking to the sideline, the inside receiver, pushing it downfield as the outside receiver. And as you noted, a beautiful throw by Dagey, putting it right on Austin Zuzalik.
So first down and 10 to the 19-yard line as Texas Tech converts a 3rd and 18. They run the reverse. Marquez. And he'll pick up the first down. Bradley Marquez, the freshman from Odessa. And Texas Tech in the red zone this year.
And they've been brilliant in the red zone coming into the game. 78%. I think they were 32 of 41 were touchdowns, 37 of 41 were points. Today, twice, 2 field goals. Texas defense loves that.
First down and goal at the 8. Dagey calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Dagey over the middle. Touchdown, Tech.
Well,
so the Red Raiders go 6 quarters without throwing a touchdown, and they finally get it here.
And it's a well-done drive by Texas Tech. Normally in that situation, what they did was they went 3 wide receivers to the wide side, 1 to the short side, and they like to throw a fade route to the short side. This time they fake it, come inside on the slant, touchdown.
And the extra point is good. 3:10 to play, 3rd quarter. Texas with the lead, but the Red Raiders showing signs. Back after this. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader with a full slate of action featuring a showdown between the Bucs and the Saints. Then America's Game of the Week spotlights the Giants and the Patriots. Coverage begins tomorrow with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check your local listing. So Seth Dagey must feel good. He finally gets his team into the end zone, although it took him a little longer than they would have liked.
Texas doesn't want to give up points, but when you look at 15 plays, 80 yards, 5:56 off the clock with this type of a lead, they'll almost trade that. That feels good to them. I mean, Texas Tech has run 60 plays for the game, 39 plays for Texas, and Texas leads by 28 points now.
Fozzie Whitaker. And Whitaker gets to the 25. Now let's go to Los Angeles, where Kevin Frazier is standing by.
Gus, Ohio State freshman Braxton Miller continuing to do his thing. His 2nd rushing TD of the day against Indiana. He had 2 last week against Wisconsin. Ohio State in the lead, 27-20. Meanwhile, Georgia finally taking care of business. I'm sure they'll have their eyes focused on the South Carolina-Arkansas game. Bulldogs battling Carolina for that top spot in the East. Charles?
Hey, if they can get Arkansas to win tonight, Georgia's in the driver's seat in the SEC East. And wasn't it just a few weeks ago, 0-2? We were talking about Mark Richt, the head coach of Georgia, being in a major hot seat. He could very easily win the SEC East now.
Yeah, nice job in Athens. Rebounded. First down at the 16. And the handoff to Bergeron. And he'll get to the 21. And Mack Brown, he talked to us about the top teams in the country and how he had to switch what he was doing here. When Colt McCoy was here, he was such a prolific passer that he had to throw it. But when you look at LSU number 1, Alabama number 2, Oklahoma State number 3, and Stanford number 4, that's the model he's looking for. Even though Oklahoma State, he said, is a passing team.
And they're a passing team who can run it quite effectively. You know, I mean, with Joseph Randall back there and Jeremy Smith, they run it quite well too.
Ash, incomplete. And Coach Brown also saying that he wanted to make sure that one player wouldn't determine whether they would win or lose.
Yeah, and that's talking about putting it all on the quarterback in a spread offense where he has to be perfect. And today, not an issue at all because they've taken that out of David Ash's hands. 35 runs, 6 passes. Now for Texas, on this drive, they've got to reestablish themselves a little bit offensively. They've got to keep things going because Tech just scored. If they get the ball back again, the momentum could jump up for Texas Tech.
3rd down and 6. Tech wants to get off the field right here. Ash firing to the sideline. Caught! Marquise Goodwin. And David Ash throws a nice ball. It's a gain of 38 yards.
3rd down pass, top of your screen, 2 receivers in the route. And look at Goodwin push to the sideline and ahead of number 9, Sean Corker, who was a wide receiver until last week. They just switched him over.
Bergeron bounces it outside. And he gets to the 25, a gain of 17. Jarvis Phillips with the tackle. 21 carries, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Joe Bergeron.
He may be a freshman. That's a man-style running right there. The bounce, the vision, the power, seeing a little speed.
1st and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Ash looks backside, incomplete. Mike Davis, the intended receiver. Coach Brewster, your thoughts?
Gus, I think that besides the fact that it's an identity play, the power play, it's where you hang your hat. Coach Brown said it at halftime. This is our identity now. The key to it is the pace of the tailback. Slight hesitation. You'll see, let the guard pull, fullback kick out, attack the A-gap downhill.
Marrying up the timing between the back and the offensive line. Too quick, you don't get the same play. Too slow, hole closes.
False start on the offense. Number 78, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Yeah, it's David Snow, the senior left guard.
He's having a terrific year. Last 4 games for Texas. They give awards internally, as most teams do. He's been their number 1 offensive lineman the last 4 games straight.
And look at the top of his helmet. What they used to call that, he's got meat on his helmet.
He's getting it painted up pretty well, isn't he?
That's right. 2nd down and 15 at the 32. Reverse. Goodwin again. And Goodwin close to the 1st down. Sean Corker making the tackle.
And watch Cody Johnson, number 11, with the block. They help spring Goodwin, because when he makes the block on the perimeter, Goodwin reads it, cuts inside, and then is able to get back outside because Mike Davis, number 1, has helped escort him all the way on the outside. And that stiff arm, does that look like Ricky Williams? Slapping that out there for the Texas Longhorns.
3rd down and 1 at the 18. Fozzie handling the ball, no secret, and he'll get a 1st down. DJ Johnson with the tackle. Why is that play so hard to stop? He's been running it the same way 9 out of 10 times.
Right now, it's just domination by the offensive line, the tight ends. Texas making that tactical move a couple of games ago, taking Luke Pellman, number 77 normally, putting him in an 82 jersey. Taking Trey Allen, formerly a starter at left tackle, putting him in the game on short yardage situation. Look, they're on the right side next to each other, and they're putting more beef on the front line.
And they'll run it again as Bergeron will pick up a couple. Coach Brewster, the Wildcat formation is a formation that's prevalent in not only in college football but in professional football. Why have coaches fallen in love with it?
Well, again, you're putting the ball in the hands of an outstanding athlete, Gus, and particularly you're running the same plays. It's just like, it's just a different style of play with the running back at the quarterback position. What really makes it difficult, Gus, is if that guy can throw, unlike Fozzie.
But he's doing enough. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Austin with the score, Texas Tech and Texas. The Longhorns up 38-13. The FX College Football Game of the Week will be back after these messages. Welcome back as we start the 4th quarter here in Austin. And the 2nd quarter, the big one for UT.
28-3, broke the game wide open. Tech played them even by score in the third quarter. Texas knocking on the door again as we begin the fourth.
Second down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Longhorns trying to march it in once again. A lot of young faces on that Texas offense, including the man under center, true freshman, David Ash. Bergeron. Touchdown. Yard touchdown for Joe Bergeron, his third today.
And they are nasty up front right now. They may be young, but they're growing. Look at this. Look at the block on Fennell right there. And then watch the one, Espinosa, 55. That was 68. Josh Cochran, another true freshman. And Bergeron with vision makes the cut and gets into the end zone.
44-13. Extra point is good. University of Texas, Joe Bergeron. (45-13) Texas, and Joe Bergeron getting stretched out on the Texas sideline brings us to our Sprint Unlimited update.
And it's been exactly what Texas has wanted, running the football. Fozzie Whitaker, DJ Monroe, Joe Bergeron,
Bergeron, 23 carries, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns. Remember last week against Kansas, 13 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I want to say it, but I know I'm not supposed to say it. But I want to say it.
I'm curious.
Number 20, maybe a little bit.
Those thighs.
I know you're not supposed to say that. He's a freshman.
It's almost blasphemy.
It's almost blasphemous. Yes, it is. But the defense for Texas doing a nice job as well, as they have given Seth Doege all kinds of problems.
And remember, last week against Kansas, no one really grasped onto it. They're like, that's Kansas. They're not very good. Texas Tech had beaten Oklahoma. You have to give them their respect. Look what they've done, limiting them to 13 points today. The rush yards. And getting to the quarterback 4 times. Jackson Jeffcoat twice himself.
So Doege takes over his own 20-yard line. Doege 31 of 41, 298 and a touchdown. And a 9-yard gain on first down from Eric Ward.
Last week, Texas's starters ran back on the field late in the game to preserve a shutout against Kansas. They built on that today. They won't have a shutout, but the pride of this unit continues to grow.
Crawford. And depending on the spot, we'll see if he gets the first down. Alex Okafor, who has 2 sacks today, has done a wonderful job.
Came into today with 3 sacks, and many had predicted double-digit sacks, and he got hung with a name in a comparison that he really didn't need early, and that's Brian Arakpo. Some of it is name, a lot of it is playing ability.
First down, Doege over the middle, caught by Adam James. Adam James playing some serious ball this afternoon. That's his 4th catch. And he's close to 100 yards, actually 84 yards receiving as a tight end. Doege goes the other side. James again, first down as he picks up 12. So 15 and 12, back-to-back plays for Adam, who went out earlier with what looked like a shoulder stinger. First down and 10 of the 44. Dagey, incomplete. As Emmanuel Acho in on the play.
More pressure up the middle. Look like Ashton Dorsey, number 85, applying the heat. And Texas will allow them to drive it as long as they keep everything in front and let them eat clock as they did on their last drive, which was 15 plays.
Second down and 10 at the 44. Dagey over the middle, again incomplete. Keenan Robinson in the vicinity. Washington, the intended receiver. So Manny Diaz, this is what he told us. He said, we're going to take away their running game and not get beaten for 20-yard plays or more. They can dink, dunk, bubble screen, and do all the little gadget things they want to do, and we'll be fine with it.
And Blake Gideon talked about making sure that you keep your eyes in the right places so they can't double move you for deep balls.
Third down and 10. And maybe a first down for Eric Ward. I believe it is.
Good thing we have seen from Texas Tech is the ability to continue to fight. It's real easy to go ahead and fold up in this situation. You know, it sounds almost Pollyanna-ish up here, but this Texas Tech team continues to come at them.
Very good point, partner. First down. Dagey, he'll go for the home run ball. Incomplete. And that one was intended for Darren Moore.
He just pointed out that they want to take away the deep ball, and they did. Now, Darren Moore is probably the best receiver on the Texas Tech team, but he got hurt earlier this year. Got hurt on the same play, hurt a knee and an ankle, and has not been right since that time. Missed nearly 4 games before coming back before Oklahoma, but he's still not 100%.
Yards of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Now remember, Texas is doing this without 2 of their better players. Shipley out with the knee injury. Malcolm Brown has the turf toe.
And then they had a couple guys who played today. Adrian Phillips had missed a game with a shoulder, playing cornerback, and he's back. There's Jackson Shipley, who's really made a splash as a freshman. A really classy receiver. And what I mean by that, the way he runs routes, the way he reads defenses, and then he goes and catches the football and helps you in the return game. He's thrown passes already this year. He's running on reverses. A lot put on the plate of a freshman receiver, and he has shown that he is more than able to handle it.
Another freshman. So Ship on the sideline today. Second and 10 at the 34-yard line for Tech. Dagey firing. Incomplete. Tremaine Swindle. That one may have gone through his hands. Seth Dagey throws a pretty football.
He does, and you know, I know Texas's idea is to take away this deep ball, but I think this one was one that Tremaine Swindle's going to come back and say, that's one I've got to go get. That's a pretty well-thrown football against tight coverage.
Third down and 10 at the 34. Crowd back into it. Texas Tech operating out of the shotgun, and some movement up front.
Ball start on the offense. Number 66, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And I think that's Gallington once again called for the penalty.
And as aggressive as Manny Diaz is here, I know 3rd and 15, big lead, a lot of teams lay back. Would not surprise me at all to see him pressure Seth Dagey and want to get the football out of his hands quickly.
Dagey underneath route broken up. Quandre Diggs, another freshman who's done a sensational job today as he knocks that one down.
And watch Kenny Vaccaro. They did decide to heat him up. And the back comes over trying to pick him up, DeAndre Washington, but just enough in his face to affect the throw.
Still 12:34 to play in the 4th. Diggs goes back deep. Longhorns will get it once again. Erxleben punches it. And it'll be downed at the Texas 5. Some serious running today for this Texas team. Wild thighs is what we're calling this one. UT getting in the end zone. All right, a look from our Chase Sapphire Exmo camera. What did Coach Brown say many years ago? Come early, wear orange, stay late, and be loud.
Be loud.
And now a new quarterback possibly coming in the game, Case McCoy. Ash will leave 4 of 7, 125 yards. Passing, 4 carries, 60 yards rushing. Ash establishing himself as the starter. And it must be hard for this young man, Case McCoy, as he starts from the 6. And Joe Bergeron running it. Let's go to Los Angeles for a game break. Kevin Frazier.
Gus, Michigan State and Minnesota, and here comes Sparty Marcus. Avion Bell with the run.
As Bell goes downhill, here comes that stiff arm, and it's all about strength, timing, and power. Get off me.
31-24. Michigan State up over Minnesota in the 4th. Gus?
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. 2nd down and 4. Texas. Bergeron stumbling forward as helmets fly. Bush losing his hat. D'Artoine Bush, the sophomore from Clute.
Tough long afternoon for that defensive front linebackers, that front 7, front 8 for Texas Tech. Tried to load the box, and Texas wasn't having any of it today.
1st and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Monroe in motion, Bergeron, and they grab him from behind.
You mentioned Case McCoy coming in, and you and I have been, and Brew have been preparing for this game, and all they told us was they're co-starters at quarterback. They also told us we're trying to find ways to get Case in the football game. But I think now for the 3rd straight game we've seen, and you mentioned the word a minute ago, Gus, establish. I think David Ash is really being established as the guy, and this co-quarterback thing, I think, is going by the wayside.
2nd down and 8 at the 19. Bergeron hopping through the hole. Oh, man. Another 1st down. And Coach Brew, how do you keep Case McCoy happy, or is this maybe the last season that he'll play here?
Gus, you keep him happy by putting him in the game and letting him play with a 45-13 lead here in the 4th quarter. David Ash has got to play and get as many reps as he can, but if Case McCoy doesn't see that there's hope down the line to play, there's a good chance he'll transfer.
1st down and 10 at the 27. So let's take a look, folks, at the conference standings, the Big 12. Some interesting things happening. Oklahoma State undefeated. Oklahoma losing that game to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And then you got Kansas State right there, and Texas in the thick of things.
And Oklahoma State and Kansas State play tonight in a big game, I believe, in Stillwater.
Texas.
Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Another big match. I remember last year Oklahoma went to Aggieland and got stung. So a lot to happen, and the last thing to keep in mind for so many years was a Big 12 championship game. There is none now. One conference, 10 teams, everyone plays each other, play it out.
Fozzie Whitaker, and he crawls to the 39. A 12-yard gain. Texas still with A&M on their schedule, with Kansas State, Baylor, Missouri next week.
So what you're saying is nothing easy. I mean, down the stretch, nothing easy. They'll need performances like this all the way down the stretch. But did Mac Brown tell the three of us yesterday? We can win all 5 games down the stretch, and we can lose all 5. Well, it looks like he's got 1 in the bag today, and he's got 4 more that he'll have to look in the eye.
Bergeron almost broke a tackle, and it would have been big yardage. He gets to the 45, DJ Johnson. And folks, we've got nice doubleheader next week. James Franklin and the Missouri Tigers, along with Henry Josie, will take on these Longhorns in Columbia, followed by Washington at USC. Matt Barkley playing really well against Colorado yesterday.
6 touchdown passes, so sharp and efficient. USC bounced back from the triple overtime disappointing loss at home to Stanford. Put up a big number on the Buffaloes on the road.
2nd down and 3. Bergeron again. And the Longhorns have another 1st down close to midfield, and Bergeron grabs his hamstring. They've been working him hard this afternoon. Bergeron, 29 carries, 191 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
He hadn't had this kind of workout since high school.
That's right.
Carrying it this many times against big-time competition.
So Joe Bergeron down, and we'll step away. Back right after this. And welcome back. Joe Bergeron jogged off the field on his own. Remember, we showed you him stretching earlier in the quarter, and now he's getting stretched out, massaged out once again. But what a day for this kid. Close to 200 yards rushing. Joe Bergeron from Mesquite, Texas. And the Longhorns run it. Coming in the game is Jeremy Hills. And Hills gains 9 yards on the play.
The Texas backs have had such a big day that this offensive line, this young offensive line that we've alluded to all game long, huge. Look at this. 847 rush yards over the last 2 games while holding their opponents to 9. Kansas at -2 last week.
2nd down and 1. And Hills once again. Let's go to Kevin Frazier in LA for a game break.
Gus, Big East battle, Louisville and West Virginia. Special teams, Marcus Allen.
Adrian Buechele, number 21, lays out like Superman and blocks the kick. They return it for a touchdown. Special teams so critical, Kevin.
Especially in a big game like this. Louisville holding on 31-28. Gus, Charles, back to you.
And thank you very much. Texas still driving the football. 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Hills. And he'll fall down at the 31. Daniel Cobb with the tackle.
You think a victory dinner for Texas now? Big offensive lineman. Not gonna be flank steak.
No.
It's Porter's.
Be Porterhouse.
It's Porterhouse.
That's right. They deserve it.
And if they want 2, they can have
They
them.
can have 2. That's going to make Bevo nervous. Be careful. 2nd down and 7 at the 31. And Hill's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Jared Flannel.
Jared Flannel has taken over for Terrence Bullitt, normally the starter at that position. He dislocated a shoulder in their last game, and Flannel has come in and played since that time.
So for Texas Tech, must feel like falling off of a mountain. You beat Oklahoma, then lose at home to Iowa State. Now you come to Texas And they run it at you the entire game. McCoy throwing. Caught. Touchdown UT. Darius White. 31 yards.
What was nice about this route is watch Darius White, because he's running to the sideline. All right, so he's going to run down into the deep flat. But he realizes that he's going to run out of space. So watch him stop himself to ensure the catch inside the line, in case McCoy noticed it also and didn't take him over the line with the throw.
52-13. Texas. And McCoy showing his mobility. Nice throw. Darius White, the sophomore from Fort Worth, scores. Back to Austin after this. Fox College Football is presented by Russell Athletic, who reminds you that together we are. And brought to you in part by Buick. See real stories of human achievement on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Welcome back, 52-13. Big smiles on the sideline for the Texas Longhorns. They are really starting to find the groove. Remember, the only two teams they've lost to this year are two pretty good football teams.
Lost to Oklahoma, who at the time was #1 in the country. Oklahoma State, if they win tonight, has a chance to be the #2 team in the country come the new power ratings on Monday.
Texas losing to Oklahoma State 38-26. DeAndre Washington brings it out of the end zone. And he goes out of bounds. So let's take a look at the power rankings.
I get the pleasure of doing this each and every week, although sometimes it's agony. My power ratings on FoxSports.com. LSU, Alabama, we know about that Titanic clash tonight in Tuscaloosa. Someone loses, so someone will have to drop. If Oklahoma State holds serve tonight at home against Kansas State, they'll move into the #2 spot. Stanford, Boise State, everyone still in the chase that was just shown on that screen.
And Dagey throwing to Jacoby Franks. And Franks wrestled down quickly. A lot of gang tackling by this Texas defense.
Foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 85. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Ashton Dorsey.
He's played so well today. Inside, number 85, ball's clearly gone, and the hit on Seth Dagey. Officials right on top of the play.
Sometimes you just get the feeling, Charles, that for defensive linemen, you can't pass up that kind of opportunity. You're not supposed to. It's a lack of discipline, but with what those kids have in them playing in the trenches to get that close.
You're reaching and clawing all game long, and there's a free shot. You just got to be disciplined enough, as you said, to turn it down.
Kenny Williams gets to the 40-yard line as Michael Thompson stops him with 5:19 to go. So for Texas Tech, after this game, they jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. Eric Ward. Tech with Oklahoma State next week at home, followed by Missouri on the road, and they'll wrap up their season on the 26th of November against Baylor. Tommy Tuberville. There you see it. And the running of Kenny Williams again.
And before anyone wants to dismiss what's left of what they see with Texas Tech, remember, when they went to Oklahoma and won, they were coming off of 2 straight losses at home. Texas A&M, Kansas State, and went up there and won. So while everyone's looking at this team and look at this demolition today, cast a wary eye if you're in Stillwater, because any team who can throw it like Texas Tech is always dangerous.
Now let's look at Texas and their upcoming schedule. Next week they will be at Missouri, a game that you'll see right here on FX. And we will be back in Austin on the 19th to call the Kansas State game. Maybe. And then there's A&M How about that A&M game? That'll be the last time those two teams meet if they don't work something out for quite a lot.
For the foreseeable future. What did they say? We can't get you on the schedule 2018, 2019 at the earliest? Wow.
And then the last game for Texas this year, Baylor. And Baylor is, after a great start like last year, the Bears are struggling a little bit now.
Schedule backloaded often for Baylor, where they end up getting a tougher run in the second half of the year, but RG3 is playing quarterback there. So you don't ever take them lightly, and they beat Texas last year.
Williams taken down, and that's a loss of 5. Acho. Once again, Jeff Coat also in on the play.
It's not heavy substitutions on the defensive side for Texas, is it? You're still calling starters' names, making plays down the stretch.
Daggy. And he throws to Eric Ward. And Ward is wrapped up, taken down. A.J. White coming up and making the play.
Now they have substituted a little more liberally in the defensive backfield, because earlier in the game, the starters were more aggressive versus that screen, getting up underneath it and spilling it quickly. Now guys are laying back, of course, not wanting people behind them.
And Daggy finds his man at the 2-yard line, Eric Ward again. First down and goal at the 1. And Daggy trotting off the field. Looks like they'll try some kind of wildcat formation with Kenny Williams. And Williams running. Will not get in. Alex Okafor plugging up the hole.
And unlike Texas's wildcat formation, or the Wild Foz, where we saw a couple of counters, a handoff to DJ Monroe, a pass by Fozzie Whitaker, all day long it's just been powered by Texas Tech when they've run it.
Daggy back in, second down and goal. The handoff. Nothing doing. Kenny Williams stopped at the line of scrimmage. As Keyston Randall was the first man to him.
This Longhorn defense came into the game ranked first in the Big 12 in total defense. They've done nothing to hurt that ranking so far, especially in terms of giving up points, although it's an opportunity here for Tech to score on third.
Third down goal at the 1. Play fake. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Darren Moore. This is coming right at you, folks.
They tried out a little pistol formation, play action, throw by Daggy in the back, and look at the job by Darren Moore getting the feet down for the touchdown. The official was all over the play, eyed it the whole way. Nice throw and catch. Daggy to Moore.
So Daggy will finish 40 of 55, 383 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the extra point is good with a minute remaining. One more look.
You've talked all day long, Gus, about how well Daggy throws the football, the touch, the accuracy, the placement. That was another example. Look at that, over the top of the line and to his receiver, who has the defender on his back and pinned away from him. He really is. There's a lot to like about Seth Daggy. Watching him play has been fun.
Coach Brew, your final thoughts on this game, especially from the perspective of the Texas Longhorns.
Well, Gus, as you, I, and Charles came here into Austin, we could sense a confidence level that hadn't been here last year, 5-7 year, very tough. But I'm going to tell you, guys, the biggest thing I take out of this game, this is a confident Texas Longhorn football team that has an identity on both sides of the ball, and I think that's critical.
And you're right, Coach, but when you really look at it, That's their identity right there. Mack Brown put his foot down, made some changes, changed himself, and got back to playing football the way people in the state of Texas like to see their football being played, which is to run it, pound you, be physical, and play grade D.
It's always been that way. That's how they've won. Even though they've changed identities along the way based on quarterbacks, the run game has almost always been a staple. And they've got that part back, but Mack Brown could have easily ridden off into the sunset, couldn't he? Straight to the Hall of Fame. No big deal. Okay, it's done. He wanted more, and he made his program rise. They use a thing here, NOS, not our standard. Last year was not their standard. He's trying to get back to it.
This ball kicked out of bounds. Texas will have it at the 40 with a minute remaining. So next week for UT, Missouri, for Tech, Oklahoma State. Tell you what, that Missouri team, James Franklin, we saw him last week against Texas A&M. They come back to win in overtime. Franklin, another Texas kid.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team, ball be placed at the 40-yard line. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team number 1, personal foul on the kicking team number 30. Penalties will offset. Texas has the ball, first down on the 40.
Yeah, Franklin really did a nice job last week, and he's shown some signs of being a very good quarterback, only a sophomore.
And we've seen a few of the ups and downs in the games we've had, where he had a tough time. And then the bounce back. I thought last week was a quantum, the game against Texas A&M was a quantum leap for James Franklin in his development as a quarterback and a leader of a football team.
Hills back in the game for Texas, and he'll run it, trying to get outside, and out of bounds at the 40. E.J. Johnson pushes him out of bounds with 54 seconds to go.
You got a new quarterback in. John Paul Floyd, a walk-on, who's ostensibly their third quarterback, although if the game is tight and McCoy can't go and Ash can't go, I have a feeling Texas has another contingency plan. They have a number of players on the team who were high school quarterbacks that I'm sure that they've been working in practice too.
One of our crew members, Gilbert Zapata, a former walk-on at Texas, played here as a national championship ring that we try to wrestle him out of every meeting. And they're running again, as a lot of the walk-ons getting an opportunity.
Wasn't he Colt McCoy's backup?
Yes, he was. Back up.
But all I heard was backup when he told me, so. There's Colt McCoy, who tonight is about to lose his record for wins as a starting quarterback in NCAA history. He's tied now with Kellen Moore at 45 each, and Kellen Moore goes to UNLV tonight. If they win, he breaks the record, goes to 46.
20 seconds to go, and the Longhorns will take a knee. 52-20, the final score. Fozzie Whitaker, huge game, couple of touchdowns, and the Texas Longhorns, after a 5-7 season last year, are officially bowl eligible with their 6th win of the season. Texas, 597 yards in total offense, 441 rushing. 52-20, the final score. Don't forget, next Saturday, it's a doubleheader on FX, starting with these Texas Longhorns facing the Missouri Tigers, followed by Washington at SC, starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. For Charles Davis, Tim Brewster, and our entire crew, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Austin, where the final score is Texas 52, Texas Tech 20. Coming up next, Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen in the studio for the Russell Athletic post-game show after these commercial messages. So long, everybody.